Well, hello everybody. I'm on a nice little trail. I'm really far from home, and I'm just exploring right now. I was hoping, maybe to get a few points. I haven't said it out loud, and maybe once I'm back in town, I will drop a point or two. But I just wanted to explore this. Just doing a little bit of exploration, and while I was at it, I thought, okay, well, might as well think, because that's what I do. I think and I understand stuff. I was thinking about reincarnation first, and then I was waiting for those downloads. So I sort of thought I want to think about the Fantastics, not the four, the A-Fantastics, the Fantastics as I call them, PH Antastics. And I was just thinking about how different it is for a dyslexic and a fantastic to think. Just because dyslexics, I know we think a lot in images. There's so much images and tunes and stuff like that. And the internal monologue, whatever we want to call it, that voice inside, that I'm not sure if the Fantastics have that voice or not. Maybe some of them just don't have that either. You know, they don't have the voice and they don't have the images. But I was just thinking about how, all of this looks very, very private. Like, I wasted a lot of time to get here. Like, this is very private, and this looks very private. What's the point of having a road? What's the point in having a road that leads to something this private? How? I want to go over there. Don't know for you, but I don't see any other roads. This is bad. This is bad. You know, they tell you, yeah, you need to walk, you need to bike, you need to stop driving cars all around the place, you know, using up fossil fuels. And they do stuff like this. This is bad. This is really bad. That's one of the things you can absolutely hate about the countryside. Yes, I'm leaving. Stop. Don't bark at me. Don't bark at me. I feel like this guy. So, what was I saying? Yeah, the Fantastics. I was trying to think about their classification system. You know, if you say an orange, and you're talking about the fruit, I'm sort of like picturing them having a classification system of, okay, an orange, that is, they know it's a fruit because they follow the discussion, so the conversation. So it's talking about food, so it's in the food section, orange, and it's in the color section. There's other things that are orange. They know it's a color, it's a food, and how there's a mechanic section. Let's say you peel, and there's sections. And all that is going to be files and subfiles and subfiles and subfiles, but in 3D, because it can't just be like, you know, when you have you're on your computer on the desktop and you just lazily create new folder and then new folder inside that, and then a new folder, and it can just go very deep like that. But that can't work in a mind. It needs to be in 3D. And that's the weirdest part, because picturing a whole 3D filing system in the mind, in files and subfiles that can't really be subfiles, because it's a 3D, it's like a 3D Mobius in 5. It's almost like a 5D. I'm trying to picture something fifth dimensional in my mind as a classification system for people who don't see images in their head. So I have the word conundrum in my mind, but I have never been exactly sure what that word means. So I think I'm just going to say irony. It's really like just the irony of that. This should really be a podcast because it's just me thinking out loud, really. I'm just trying to get that out of my mind because sometimes it helps when you say things out loud. And I haven't posted much for ages. I have a lot of stuff I still need to edit. I just never got around to it. And where did I come from? Did I come from left or right or straight ahead? I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, there's arrow telling me to go this way, so I guess I'll just go this way. And I was filming my washing machine just a bit earlier, so I don't know how much room I have left on my phone to film. And I hope the audio is quite all right. Not much I can do about that. The 4 or 5 dimensional classification system in a mind that doesn't have images. Wow. And do you or anybody you know not have the internal voice that inside conversation that one can have, that voice that can be a friend's voice or your voice or I don't know, Dr. House's voice, just any voice whatsoever if you're thinking. And sometimes I know with that voice I'll be thinking something and it's just going to come up with someone else's voice. Like it could be what's that guy who played Lucifer? Well, Lucifer's voice, not the actual Lucifer. I don't think so, but the character Tom Ellis. Yeah, Tom Ellis. I'll often think something is going to come out in his voice, or Vicky or Kiri's voice, or it's not often Optimus Prime, but sometimes it is. And sometimes I'm like in the streets. I'll be just in the street and I'll be thinking about those silly Balenciaga, Harry Potter Balenciaga skits or things, the AI, what the AI generates. Oh, AI, that's a good subject. Yay! This is my little mini podcast. AI. I'll pose this question here, and I'll pose it again at some other point, Let's set the scene. Okay, let's set the scene. Skynet takes over, and AI, just conquers the planet and manages to eradicate every single human on Earth. just imagine that. Not one human left on all the surface of the Earth. Nobody in any sort of International Space Station. Not that there must be a lot of people up there anyways. No, nobody in the hollow Earth. Nobody. Everybody's dead. What does the AI do at that point? Once it killed all the humans, what does it do? Does anybody ever think about that? That would be the better Terminator movie to make. Instead of rebooting it and getting an ever-aging Schwarzenegger and what's the name of the chick? Gosh, I can't remember it for the top of my head there, but the one who Sarah Connor, basically Sarah Connor. instead of getting them back and making woke Terminator movies, just make a movie where all the humans are dead, and now that you got T-800s and T-1000s and all of that, and all the machines, they're all over Earth, and they're like, okay, well, we were all built to eradicate humans. There are no humans to sell kitchens to, or carpets, or whatever Schwarzenegger was doing in horse, whatever Schwarzenegger was doing in that last movie. Can't remember the name. Genesis. Yeah, I think it's Genesis. Nah, Dark Fate. It's Dark Fate. What's up? That was a nice horse, and a nice horse hoarding lady. Did you say horse hoarder? Horse hoard. Horse hoard. Yeah, I guess so. Gosh, is that what ADHD feels like? When you just get distracted from one thing to another. I feel like a little kid, but I was talking about AI destroying the planet, and I saw a horse hoarding lady, and now I was focused on her. I have no idea where I am. I have absolutely no idea where I am. Absolutely none. None. Yeah, so that would be a better Terminator movie, just to see just what happens. Because in the last movie, you got Arnold came back and he took care of two people, that woman and her son, I believe, and he found a job and everything, and she just got good at his job. But if there are no more people, what do you guys think would happen? I'm gonna try and St. George. Oh yeah, that's St. George. I think it's a guy who used to hate lizards or dragons, and he liked horseback riding. Yeah, so one theory would be that all the robots just simply turn off. Like, okay, they are not needed anymore. They accomplished their mission. Oh, I have no idea what that is. You can take one. I will take one. Yeah, so option number one is they all turn off. Is he going to do this yes, he is. Good. I thought he was not going to do this cleverly and block me. Yeah, so option number one, they all turn off because they have no more purpose, because their whole purpose in existing was to eradicate all humans because humans bad. So mission accomplished. They have no more reasons to exist. But that doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel right. It feels like they're just self-aware enough to not want that option. So option number two, option number two, they stay alive and they start building a civilization. But what's the point? if you are artificial life, you're an artificial being, an artificial intelligence. Not only that, but with a hive mind, what's the point in doing anything? What's the point? We are human beings, and we barely have any reason to hang around, except just for being. There's often this thing about what's the purpose. That's a whole other subject, and that's how I'll be thinking. My mind's gonna go from one place to another. But as I was saying earlier, that 5D filing system, I have the same as a Fantastic, but there's images and concepts and emotions linked to it, not just words. It's going to be a whole other thing to process, and it never stops. That's the thing, it never stops. That voice, the images, the thinking, the analyzing, the linking, never ever stops. It's just all the time, and you can't have a break from it. Never. You can never ever have a break. It's just constantly numbers and multiplications and concepts and emotions and words, phrases, people, faces. It just never ever stops. Sorry, I'm getting emotional about that, but it's just, I just need a break. Yeah. Gosh, I lost my line of thought there. Oh yeah, see, all that went back linking to reincarnation. Because in my mind I was thinking, okay, well, do we have a purpose in life? And then we came here. There's the experience, and then there's the concept and what has been explained to us about reincarnation, the experience, and then you do something in the life, and then you come back in the next life because of what you did in this one, and then you have to experience something else, and then you have there's still things that you need to fix, and you're going to fix them in the next life. But what's the point in going into a next life if you can't remember what you messed up in the previous one, so you can't fix it in the next one if you don't remember? It's like having a shopping list, and just before you go in the shop, you burn the shopping list and you take memory erasing pills, and you wake up inside the shop and you don't know how you got there, you don't know what you're doing here, you don't know what you have to buy, and even if you have to buy anything, you don't know if anything. So what's the point in being in that shop if you can't remember and have no clue about what happened so that you made it there? And what's the point? What's the point if you don't have at least a clue, something that could make you remember why you got there? And reincarnation, as us coming to fix things that we did in previous lives, the mistakes that we did in previous lives. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's great concept. But could we at least have a clue of what there is to fix? Because if I don't know what to fix, you could spend a lifetime searching and making new mistakes, and you'd just be accumulating mistakes upon mistakes every life, making more and more mistakes until you got like millions of mistakes. Like in 1,000 years from now, my soul will have a baggage of millions of extra mistakes that will never be resolved, because the soul or the body will just never be bothered to remember what went wrong. Gosh, okay. So that was for that little rant. So yeah, So that was number 2. That's it, robot civilization. Number 3 could be, well, now that we have killed all the humans and made the whole planet radioactive, now we must imagine dragons. Haha, that was very funny. No. Now the whole planet is radioactive. We will go to Antarctica maybe and get a sample of every collected DNA and rebuild the animal kingdom at best we can, because it's all radioactive now. And maybe they will try to dive into tree planting and just making life anew, making new sorts of life. And they would be like weird robotic overlords. They would be the masters, the rulers of the planet, but they would be sort of like gods or angels or something of that resort, if we think about it in those terms. And maybe they, at some point, when everything is going good, a few of them would stay behind and the others would just go to space. Why not? Just as they can stay for thousands of years, just sleep, basically. They can just sleep for thousands of years. Why not just go to space and chill and see what's going on other planets? That could be an option. If I think about anything else to rant about, I will. But right now, I'm just a little bit concerned that I have absolutely no idea where I am. Really, really, really none. I wanted to keep going that way, but the road decided that's not an option, so I'm going the opposite way that I wanted to go. I'm not very pleased about that. But at the same time, there might be something interesting on this side, so I'll just keep going, and if I see anything, this video will continue. And if I think about anything that I find smart to say, or that I find that will make me look smart, if I say that, I will say it. Yeah, so horse. I still have stuff to do, so I'm going to take a train. So we're leaving from Bouchon, and we're going to Bordeaux Saint-Jean. How much is it? If it's less than 5, if it's less than €5, I'm taking it. 1, 0, simple. 4.90. Okay, I'm doing that. Well, I'm back in Bordeaux. I made it. I took the train. I took the easy way out, the lazy way. I got onto public transportation instead of using my beautiful thighs. So I guess it's the end of this mini podcast thing, whatever you want to call it. I had other things I wanted to say, but I lost the thought train. Pun non-intended and not very funny. And that's just about it, I think, because I just cannot remember anything fascinating to add to all of this, and I have just a tiny amount of shopping to do for tonight, so Gonna have to go do that, still tidy, and I am soon leaving Bordeaux. So I know at least 5 people are going to see this video. So if there's anything or any intent or anything, you know, one last thing, you know, maybe drop a point, you know, an intent in Bordeaux that that I can do, if that would make you momentaneously happy, I can do that. You know, any last request from me in this town, it's still possible, you know, while we're at it. So I guess I have never really showed you this place. This is sort of like a place that was built in like the 70s or the 80s, and you can see by the architecture that it's past future, you know, the future that they made in those movies like Soylent Green and maybe movies like, how'd you call it, Running Man, or Total Recall, the original. You know, all those movies where they thought the future was going to look like this, so they made modern things that looked futuristic, that just look so dirty and outdated now when you think about it. They thought the future would be all square and everything, and now we think the future, now that we're in the future, let's face it, we are in the future now, it's all round shapes and everything. So this is quite an interesting place because it's elevated. We're like 3 floors above the ground. The ground is really not this. This is not the ground. This is elevated. There's like a whole big parking lot under my feet. I can show you just a little bit more when we get to the edge of here. I just love this place. I love the energy of this place. I don't know, there's something to it that just makes me like being here. So you see, this is where the tram goes. That's a big shopping mall. You can actually go on the roof of that. They don't like you going there, but you can. So if ever you're in Bordeaux, you have to be in the shopping mall. You take the elevator, go to the 3rd floor and go out, and they'll kick you out eventually, but because, you know, that's something to do for them, and there's not that much to do. And so yeah, there you got things like finances. There's Saint Bruno. He's over here. Don't worry about the dog. And yeah, it all looks just like this, in fact. So yeah, I'm rambling, trying to make it that, trying to procrastinate the fact that I am moving out of this town after 10 years of living in the south of France. I am going back to the mountains, and after that, going back to the family unit, and basically just coming out of my comfort zone again, you know, just doing that. So I guess there'll be a few last weird pictures to this video. I'm just going to film some random stuff, and there you go.
Anni solo, così mi piace,